Hello everyone, my name is Miss Anna and today we're going to hear a new story. And the story today is called The Road to Emmaus. And this is a very important story, especially for those who are preparing for First Communion. So after Jesus rose from the dead, he appeared to many of his disciples. He encountered two of these disciples shortly after his death and resurrection, just outside of Jerusalem. They were traveling on the road to a village called Emmaus. As we read this story, pay attention to the way the disciples finally realize that it was Jesus who was with them. Let's listen to the story. Two of the disciples left the city of Jerusalem where Jesus was crucified and began to walk the 7 miles to a village called Emmaus. While they walked, they were talking about all the things that had happened in the last few days. They were talking about Jesus sharing the Last Supper at Passover and how he had been arrested and crucified. So much had happened that they had just not understood what it was all for. They were walking along the road talking when Jesus came near and began to walk with them. In their sadness, the disciples did not recognize that it was Jesus who came near to them, because they were not allowed to recognize Jesus. "What are you talking about as you walk along the road?" Jesus asked. The two followers stopped. Their faces were very sad. The one named Cleopas answered, "You must be the only one in Jerusalem who does not know the things about Jesus." "What things?" Jesus asked. "It is about Jesus of Nazareth. He was a prophet from God to all the people. He said and did many powerful things. Our leaders and the leading priests gave him up to be judged and killed. They nailed him to a cross, but we were hoping that he would free the Jews. It is now the 3rd day since this happened. And today some women among us told us some amazing things. Early this morning they went to the tomb, but they did not find his body there. They came and told us that they had seen a vision of angels. The angels said that Jesus was alive. So some of our group went to the tomb too. They found it just as the women said. They did not see Jesus." Then Jesus said to them, "You are foolish and slow to realize what is true. You should believe everything the prophets said. They said that the Christ must suffer these things before he enters his glory." Then Jesus began to explain everything that had been written about himself in the scriptures. He started with Moses, and then he talked about what all the prophets had said about him. They came near the town of Emmaus, and Jesus acted as if he did not plan to stop there. But they begged him, saying, "Stay with us. It is late. It is almost night." So he went in to stay with them. Jesus sat down with them and took some bread. He gave thanks for the food and divided it. Then he gave it to them. And then they were allowed to recognize Jesus. But when they saw who he was, he disappeared. They said to each other, "When Jesus talked to us on the road, it felt like a fire burning in us. It was exciting when he explained the true meaning of the scriptures." So the two followers got up at once and went back to Jerusalem. They found the 11 apostles and others gathered. They were saying, "The Lord really has risen from death. He showed himself to Simon." Then the two followers told what had happened on the road. They talked about how they recognized Jesus when he divided the bread. This story teaches us that the Eucharist reunites us with Jesus, and we can recognize and know him in his meal, just like the story we heard. The disciples who did not know it was Jesus who was with them recognized him when he broke bread. In our churches, the priest in persona Christi, which means he represents Jesus, breaks the bread every Sunday in Mass. And we too should recognize that it is Jesus and that he offers himself to us in the Holy Eucharist or communion. Also, receiving communion helps us experience God's love and gives us strength to get through any of the tough times we may be experiencing during the week. Until the following Sunday, when we encounter Jesus again. So remember, boys and girls, that we encounter Jesus at the church, in the Eucharist, in the breaking of bread. Thank you for joining me. We'll see you in the next Bible story.